Are we live yet? The warm-up period, baby. There we are. We're live. Henry McClure live down here in the glass house studio. Brings new meaning to talking heads. It's a little funny. To the lead heads. All right, Topeka, Kansas. Here we are. Did you know that I'm a licensed real estate broker here in the state of Kansas? Do you know that I'm going on my 46th year of real estate? And this goes out to the residential, the local realtors, the Sunflower Border realtors. This goes out to people that want to relocate, say like in New York or California. Those of you that want to flee socialism and come here to more of a conservative town, full of Christians, God, people that believe in Jesus Christ. Come on down. Anyway, here we are. I'm gonna give you the Reader's Digest version of this story after I tell you the meat of the deal. Okay, look. We got about 21 acres here that can be developed out of the floodplain. So we've got, if you add the floodplain in here, that's 29 acres. But that leaves 21 acres. Look at this. We're going to use multiple colors. So 21 acres. This is the turnpike. What's that? 335? 330, 335. And here's Adams Street. This is the printer. Jocelyn's is over there. And this is where the monk lives. Have you ever seen the monk walking around Topeka in the flowing orange robe? Go and talk to him. Tell him, hey, I know Henry McClure. Do it. He'll know me. He's usually got a stocking hat on, even in the summer. So, we got 21 acres here. This is Evans Street. If you go back into that neighborhood, here's the water tower is another geographical monument. It's a, come on, what do they call it? Yeah, a monument. It's the school's over here, and the way I look at it, this is more of like a back entrance. But what I would do is make my entrance right here off of Evans. And you've got a great lot just to build a house on it. For, let's say, I'd like to get $125,000. Remember, this goes to the Orthodox Church. So let's try to get $125K for the church. So originally, now here's the long and the short of it. I was going to buy this property on my own for me, and I was going to go over and talk to Dana Kay about this land. I had a closing coming up, and I was going to see if he'd make a deal with me for, a 30-day carry, a little bridge loan. And then I'd pay him off in 30 days. Well, while I'm on the way over to Lawrence, I get a call. I go show the land. Father Nikolai wants to buy it, so I'd rather make a deal. As a broker, I'd rather just go ahead and sell it. So Father Nikolai and the church, they get all revved up about it and buy the land. Well, the bureaucracy of the church, the Wichita, I don't know if he's a bishop or the head vicar of this area. But anyway, really nice fellow down in Wichita. he comes up here and he says, no, you don't want to be here. You want to be over on, a more high traffic. So I ended up selling them 9 acres over on Gage. But if you go back to ancient history, and this is what happened at Mace Ridge. Mace and Dana would be you'd be talking to them, and then they'd start telling their stories. Well, when Dana Kay was in the home building business, when he was like 27, this was the first property he didn't buy. And to you viewers in New York or California or worldwide, wow. And also, too, I'll get this up on YouTube. My YouTube views have really blown up. But we've got, and Father Nikolai was concerned. He was talking to me today. He wanted to make sure that I was marketing this property to like the single family guy. And I've got a lot of followers. I got a lot of friends. And the views on, some of on my Facebook are pretty good. One friend of mine got all snippy with me about some of my stuff that I was posting right after the election. And look, I don't know. I didn't watch city council, but I guess they were going to hire somebody that had a felony. I don't know. I'm glad I didn't go through that brain damage tonight. And I thought the hotel. Well, anyway, I'm digressing. I'm talking about politics on my show. But I've wanted to keep the views up, and also I didn't want my friends, my real friends, to forget that I'm a conservative, and I just happen to be pro-Trump, yes, but big deal. If I voted for Donald Trump, does that mean you wouldn't buy a piece of land that you like from me? You wouldn't? Oh, okay, we'll go deal with you. Call your realtor. I'll pay your realtor a commission. So, it's really a scenic area. And I, before we bought it from the Buddhists. And the Buddhists were going to build a monastery for the monk. And then we're going to build a compound. And the most interesting thing ever, one of the most fun closings I've ever had. And if you know Cheryl and Marvin, she can verify this story. But what is it, the patriarch? Is that the woman? Matriarch, patriarch? Right now I'm just having, here, let's just see. I'm not married, so I have to ask Google. Hey Google, what's matriarch? Yeah, okay, so it's the matriarch. For those of you that are married, you just ask your wife or your husband, right? I digress. All right, so the matriarch of the family was really nervous. She wasn't able to pull off the monastery, and she said, I prayed to God. But she goes, I felt bad that I prayed to God because I don't know God. And then she said, she was just being honest. She goes, I didn't want to just pray to God when I need him. She felt like she should have a relationship with God. But she goes, I prayed to God anyway, and then you came. And she put her arm on me, and I had a chill. I had like power. I had this energy force go through me, similar to what happened to me at 4:44 a.m. on May 2nd, 2015. This energy, Cheryl's looking at me, she goes, your hair's standing on end. And I looked, And I go, do you feel that energy? And I looked, she goes, look at my arms. And they were full of goosebumps. It was a moment. It was a moment. And what's happening to me is everywhere I turn, God's in my life. And it's beautiful. And it's like 37th and Gage. All that dirt is being moved with God's money. And a friend of mine and I were talking, who's a client. And he was talking about, pre-May 2nd, 2015 at 4:44. And it sure has changed my life. But I got to tell you something about what happens about change is you've got to address your shortcomings. And look, if one of my shortcomings is that I'm not a member of the Topeka Board of Realtors, well, look, you guys, you realtors, you locals here, I got 46 years of real estate. There isn't anybody I won't talk to. I mean, seriously, if Spencer Duncan called me up and needed help with a real estate deal, I'd help him. He's our mayor now. I work for the 4,111 people. I still work for you guys. I love you. I still work for the 9,000, people from the county commission. But look, there have been people that have picked up the phone. One guy was in the line at the car wash talking to me about a deal, and I wasn't going to get a commission or a hit, but I told him how to put the deal together, and I think he did it and got paid. Sometimes it's how hard your network works for you. And I need to get my network of real estate people focused on this. I'll give up some of the points on my commission. So, hey, Turnpike, Adams, Monk, 9 acres of floodplain, 21 acres of buildable. Come off Evans. You can come off back here. 125K. Whoa! Hey, let's make the deal. If nobody's told you they love you tonight, I love you. Good night.